I am Tamar Okunhon, a 15-year-old girl who joined the Diana Award this year. I voiced my opinions at number 10 Downing Street. I volunteer for the environment with the YMC Youth Panel. And last year I worked with the Lonely Not Alone national campaign. Imagine I was a girl that was told, once you change the colour of your skin, then you can hang with us. Imagine there was a girl that was made fun of for being on free school meals or for being different or had to be the one on the sidelines all the time. The one that had to be isolated. The one that, if there was a pair, would have to go on their own. The one that felt different and alienated because they didn't have as much money as her friends, or because the colour of her skin was darker. 1/5 of schools reported having high levels of racist bullying, and 70% of children from ethnic minority backgrounds reported having been treated differently by peers on the basis of their race. 31% of students had said that they heard racist remarks being called either to them or their peers in school at least once a week. Did you know that 50% of children from ethnic minority backgrounds have said that teachers' perceptions were the biggest barrier to their educational success? This research has come from interviewing 557 ethnic minority students. When I used to bring packed lunches to school, I'd get weird looks because of the way my food smelled or the way it looked, because it wasn't normal. And the hair struggles, being told your hair isn't real, or having people the stereotypes that came along with my skin colour, such as being lazy, such as not doing well later on, such as what my personality would be like. It all made me know that I had to work twice as hard to get where I wanted to be. Majority of people that I've asked around in my school have said at one point in time they felt the need to change who they were to fit in. Things to do with their race, their skin colour, their background that they couldn't control just to fit in with the rest. In fact, I remember things even so small, such as when I was younger and having to colour in pictures or paintings of my skin, and there'd never be a colour that would fit my skin. I'd always have to use the peach or a different colour that just wasn't my own. When I grew up watching Disney films, there was never someone up there that looks like me. There was never a princess that looks like me. There's never someone to look up to. And when people were described as beautiful, none of them would look like me when they were. The first time one of my friends experienced racism and discrimination was when she was walking down the street and someone came and said, "What's under your hijab?" and took it off her head. Another one of was mistreated. For a while, I didn't know what to do. In fact, my first instinct was to look at me, to think, what was wrong with me? To think, why did I have to be born like this? Or to think, why did I have to be different in a different place with people that aren't like me, with people that judge me? But speaking to a trusted adult, speaking to someone you know can help you, speaking to the people involved, one of the hardest things that I had to face was not just facing the person who was treating me like this, but also the people that stood there, the people that I also considered friends that just went along with it, that would laugh at the jokes at my expense, that would walk away with the bullying, that would talk behind my back and engage. People that I still considered close to me. And that's when you realise it's not just one person. For bullying to manifest and for it to be able to affect you, it doesn't have to just be one person. Sometimes it's people that you consider friends that join in, and by them not acting, that was the biggest action of all, showing that they were okay with me being treated like this. And that's when it opened my eyes. Talking to someone that I trusted was a really easy way for me to try and start and combat the issue, because I was being treated badly, but I knew at one point that I didn't want this to last forever. And in order for me to combat and stop that, I needed to take the first step, which was admitting there was a problem. This brings back memories to 2020 during the Black Lives Matter movement, where so many people were ready and willing to open their eyes, or to do more, or to campaign more, or to educate themselves more. But at the same time, it also highlighted a large problem of activism, but only for show. Very performative activism, where certain people would act as if they cared about the movement, make videos and profit off the whole situation, but didn't care enough. That's still in society today, that people that don't come from a good background, or what's considered a good background, or are an ethnic minority, are still at the mercy and are still being treated wrong by those in a more privileged position. And even when it came down to helping those people that were being treated wrong, they were still using it as an opportunity to level up themselves, stay a problem forever. Now I have friends that appreciate me for who I am. Now I have friends from all different backgrounds, from all different parts of the world, and none of us take each other for granted or look at each other for the colour of our skin or what we look like or where we came from. See, my TED Talk called Character Over Colour means that you should judge me for who I am first, not by what you see. And when you're surrounded by people that look at you for your character first, then you can start to be in a more positive headspace. You can finally be you and stop being pushed back and held back by the barriers which are what you look like. Prejudice is a burden that confuses the past, threatens the future, and renders the present inaccessible. Think of this talk, I mentioned who I was and what I've achieved before speaking about my experiences with racism, and that's because, yes, I was a victim, but I won't be a victim forever. I won't let the way I've been treated define me. I won't let the way the world and society has treated me at times knock me down permanently. I can still live, I can still change, I can still improve, and I don't need to let what's happened to me stop me from achieving. See, instead of being put down permanently by the barriers that I've had to break through, those barriers which are racism, I can use it to fuel me, to power me, knowing that voicing my opinion now isn't just helping me, it's helping all those children, even adults from ethnic backgrounds that think they weren't good enough or thought that their race defined them, because it doesn't. You have the power to make change. You don't need to let those past experiences control you. You don't need to let the insecurity of others stop you, because they are the ones that need to reflect on their actions. You don't need to reflect on who you are. You are who you are, no matter what colour you are. And you don't need to change. You don't need to stop being you just because someone else told you so. You see, we can all work together. Racism isn't just one person's issue, not a group of people's issues. It won't stop, and neither will other things such as homophobia, transphobia. None of this will stop unless we all realise that it's our collective part to make that change. I've said once before, and I will say it again, that racism and my experiences, the colour of my skin and where I come from will never define me. They never have, and they never will. They never have to define you or anyone else. Not everything that's faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced. The face of racism is a battle that starts from the young age. It starts in the classroom, it follows you home, and sometimes it can follow you anywhere else. Achieved what I've achieved despite all that the world has thrown at me. And as an audience, I urge you to leave and do something. Don't just listen to this and understand racism is a problem. Take action, because without facing it, we will never put an end to this. I will continue to speak out and fight this battle. I will continue, whether my impact is big or small, whether my positive impact will be small and affect some people or affect the masses. And yours can too, so that you can be the change that you want to see in this world. And remember one thing: racism won't stop until our fight to put it to its end begins.